Welcome back, fellow Path of Exile players. So this is Chris, returning with my Trapmaster build that I just decided to wing one day. And in the last game, or the last video, I finished Act 3, got my first Ascendancy, and now we're just going to see how it works. Act 4 is where we continue on. And as far as the tree goes, I can't really remember. I'm not really sure where I'm going to go next. But like I said, I'm just winging this build, and we'll just see how that goes. So let's continue on to Highgate. So I think I hit level 37 in the last video. Well, we'll see in a second. So, yep, 37. Yeah, some pretty good stats. A lot of intellect. Decent amount of dexterity. Some good amount of strength. But with all that being done, I could use a few pieces of gear to upgrade, but I'm not really going to spend any time doing the whole trading thing, because there's plenty of time for that later. I'm just going to use the gear that I find throughout the game. And what was there to cover at the beginning? So, Act 4, this is where we actually deal with Piety soon. One thing I wanted to do soon is get probably a few pieces of gear that have at least 4 slots. There's actually a weapon that gives you 6 that is pretty decent for a trap build, but it's a unique, and I think that I'm going to hold off on getting that for a little bit. I have a few extra gems that I want to use. I just don't have the slots for them now, so hopefully we get some good drops and then I can get the dash going. Ooh, a little bit of lag there. Okay, why? Oh, where's my... Okay, why is my trap set to W? That's kind of weird. I didn't do that on purpose. So I don't want it set to W. So just click that out. Always attack without moving. Good. Clarity and the skitter bots are both active. So I'm all set as far as that goes. Onyx Amulet. Ooh, that actually might be good to pick up. So here we are looking for a named mob. I can't remember his name, but when you first get to Act 4, there's a gate that you can go through. The only problem is that it's blocked by some kind of a barrier. You need to find the mob here so you can get that unblocked. Wow, the traps are just doing so much AoE damage, and they really they just leave that big pool of fire on the ground and just destroy everything. So I kind of wonder how it'll fare against the guy that's fire based here. Alright, keep using the Quicksilver Flask just to get everything going. I don't really need the mana one so much, but it's good to have it just in case. So I think that you usually find the guy around where this camp is. I could be wrong, but when you find the camp, he's usually somewhere around it. Oh, and it looks like we have Einhar around here as well, because once this guy pops... Yep, there's Einhar. So he does do a little bit as far as helping you capture the creatures. But I wouldn't say that he really does. He really carries you at all. Alright, I guess the guy wasn't around there. Summon Flame Golem? That might be good. Studded belt, I think. Yep. Let's see if that's any good. Nope, no good. I want something that does increase some stats, but also offers something useful. Picking up the Death Bow wouldn't be useful at all, and that's more of a tanky shield, so I want something that's going to give spell damage or elemental damage, and the tower shields just don't do that. So they do have their base stats, which is nice. That way you as you play the game more and more, you get used to deciding what you want to pick up, what you want to just leave behind. So I picked up the Lordy Plate just because it's going to be pretty good defense, and since it's an Act 4 item, higher level, it means that there's a chance I might see something that has more slots. If so, that's great. Colossal Life Flask, we could use that. And we are still looking for the named guy. Ah, here he is. Or, I think. No, that wasn't him. He was a named character, though. So the traps do have a really far throw distance. That combined with the fact that they use such a trail on the grounds. There's Einhar. And we don't need to use the Crucible at the moment, just because the weapon's all maxed out. And I just really have not been having luck with weapons at all. As far as the Crucible goes. Like I have a pretty good weapon for the time being. But I still haven't found any abilities that I get from the Crucible that just are really jaw-dropping. We still need to find him, so maybe he's south. Yeah, one thing about this act is that a lot of times, or for this area especially, this path veers off, so there's really no point in worrying about finding a waypoint here at all. Well, not that there is one, but once this area is done, you just use the log out, log in tactic and just save a little bit of time. It's not like you have to return here for any reason. Where are you? I like when you see just a whole bunch of the traps come out at once. You only click once and then like 6 of them come out. Alright, is that another level? I've gained 2 levels since starting to clear this area. This is a level 34 zone, so I'm level 39 now. So from what I remember, either just watching one of the videos, is that areas usually have a 4 to 6 limit for the experience that they give you. So now that we're level 39, 40 will basically be out leveling this zone, which means that the experience gain will be really, really minimal. You usually want to stay in zones that are around your level just to maximize the experience you gain. But I don't think I've gone through this game without over-leveling content. Except for the one time that I was rushed through the game, but I really don't recommend getting rushed. It feels like more work than anything. So you go through the entire game. When I did have somebody offer to rush me, I took it, and I was at level 12 by the time we finished all 10 acts. And then he was doing the delve, and it just wasn't fun. You die so easily, you don't have the gear at all. Okay, this is the guy that we're looking for. Vol, Emperor of Purity. And I guess we did kill off the enemies. So the jingling shield might be good. The armor, we'll see. The mace, no, we don't have any need for that whatsoever. And then Vol's confession. So we don't really have to listen to that, and we don't really have to worry about using up a town portal. Just take a little sip of coffee. Let's see. Identify. Yep, just to keep everything identified. Let's see if there's anything good. So, the Demon Wrap armor, it does have a lot of armor. Not really any stats that I care for. The helmet's actually a pretty decent item. It gives intelligence, mana, fire resist. We do want fire resist and lightning resist, so I'm going to switch out the helmet. So now I have a bit more energy shield. Let's see. The armor here, it offers good amount of armor, good amount of evasion rating. It doesn't really have any stats that I need. And no, I don't want that one. And then the ring. So a lot of people recommend getting the 2 stone rings. They're great for resistance. You usually get a ridiculous amount. So this also offers attributes, evasion, mana. I do lose a little bit of intellect, but I think that I can cope with that for the extra resistance. So lightning and colds, and we'll take that. We'll replace the level 8 ring. Okay, so we do lose a little bit of health, but we're fine. It's not like we're taking much damage anyway, and then we just sell all this stuff to one of these people. Were the gloves any good? No. And sell that, and sell that one there. Oh, we also got an Onyx Amulet. We can get rid of that too. So, make sure that we put the other flask there. Throw the stuff in the stash just to keep the inventory empty. And done and done. I don't think Vortex is really needed, but oh well. Not going to throw it in the bag yet. Oh, actually, I did get a fire golem. Let's see. Before we continue on, let's see about maybe throwing a golem on. Now, I do have a lot of gems that I don't really... You definitely don't really start with these. But let's see. The flame golem grants increased damage. Use a fire spray, wave of fire damage. And it goes in a red socket. I can use that. The carrying golem. So the fire golem would be 15% increased damage. Do I have any other golems here to pick from? I guess not. I could have sworn that I had all the other ones. Oh, stone golem. Let's see. Life regeneration. Addition to melee. Use those rolling. Okay, so taunt might be good. So I think we will use the stone golem. And let's see about support. So we want something that will help out the stone golem. Now the golem itself doesn't really have a time limit, so we don't have to worry about anything increasing or decreasing the duration. Stone golem, we want... Let's see. Burning damage support. More burning damage. No, he doesn't really do burning damage, so we don't need to do that. So yeah, we don't have to worry about reserving mana either. Let's filter out a bunch of those. Cast on melee. No, we don't want that. Eternal Blessing. Doesn't work. Multiple totems. Nope. So just something that works for the stone golem. The only one I'm really thinking is maybe the damage support, because it's the only one that seems to work that's a red gem. Let's see. Cold to fire. No, he doesn't really use cold damage. Elemental attacks. They deal more elemental damage, but he's not really an elemental dude. We can use added fire damage, so that's a possibility as well. And no, we don't want that one. Main. You know, we might go with main. And throw that in. Okay, so the item that you get when you kill the named mob in the other area, then you use that to take out the seal. Now you can enter the mines. Alright, so there is an enemy either in the first or second level. I think it's usually the second that you have to kill, and then that completes one of the mini quests. So now I have my skitterbots and I have my golem, and things are just going to die so quickly. So, still don't need anything from the crucibles, but it's lucky that they're all over the place, because if you have any yellow items, you don't want to have to try and hunt them down. You'll find a crucible in every area, much like the Forbidden Sanctum from the last season. I don't know how, like, the only difference is that with the crucibles you have to manually activate it. I don't know how many times I ran into the Forbidden Sanctum, and it's like, ah, crap, now I have to run out, and I didn't even really want to go in the first place. Alright, so he leaves quite a bit of damage on the grounds. What is my fire resist? It seems fairly low. Yeah, 36 isn't bad. I guess they just do a lot of damage. So let's see about level 2. I think 2 is where you usually find the guy. And I'll actually put the skill points in. So if you close that out, you get more of the map that you can see, or more of the tree that you can see. Alright, so I want to get some more life. And we might as well get a little bit of strength too. So we're increasing our life by 15%. So 707 up to 820. Not bad. Over 100%, 100 more life. So I think it's different for tanks, but I usually want to try to get around 300 every act. So I'm already a little bit behind, so I should start putting a few more abilities into defensive ones. That group dropped pretty quickly. Yeah, I like just leaving this huge trail of fire all over the place. Right. And on we go. So there's the crucible that we don't need. Use another one of the flasks. Keep that movement speed going. Alright, so we are not leaving this area until we find the named guy. This is where, if it's your first time going through, you're introduced to, I think it's called the Delve, where you go into the mine and it's essentially an endless maze that you can go through. One thing you could actually do with that, because I think you can start going in before even finishing the first act, is that if you were to go in and just start clearing it and leveling up, you could probably get all the way to level 100, get all decked out and everything, and then not have to worry about the 60% decrease in your resistances. The only problem is that you're you're going to be short quite a few skill points as you level up. But I mean, 60% resistances is not really anything to scoff at. Alright, so this is what we were looking for. The spirit. So we freed him. We just finished clearing this area. And then we're looking for the next one, which leads to, I think, the crystal mines. So we're just in the mines right now. We're looking for the next zone. And the enemies are actually starting to look a little bit more interesting. I think when the game initially came out, it was the first 3 acts. And then they introduced Act 4 and Act 5, and then over time went all the way up to Act 10. But it used to be there were difficulty modes for, I think, the first 3 acts, where you go through the first time and then you do like a nightmare mode and then a hell mode. And then each time there, that's when you would see the drop in your resistances. But now instead of that, it's just go through the entire campaign just once, but it's a lot longer. So this is the crystal mines. It really is a lot cooler seeing all these little purple crystals all over the place. Alright. So still don't need anything from the crucible. Just keep finishing off all these guys. And I'm liking that the blue packs are just dropping so quickly with the massive damage from my mines. That and the, is my stone golem still up? I actually think it's dead. Yep. Stone golem was taken out. Oh. Okay. Well, I thought I was out of range, but that explosion took me out, so cast everything I need again. Yeah, that was actually a little bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting that to knock me out. But that's the good thing about not playing on hardcore mode. If you aren't paying 100% attention, then the death is not really going to affect you too badly. I mean, you have to run back to where you were before, but it's definitely a much more shallow punishment than having to start all over from the beginning. Yeah, there's just something about this game that I wouldn't really want to risk hardcore, because yeah, you could probably get through the campaign pretty, like, once you've put in enough hours, getting through the campaign, you can do it without dying fairly easily. But once you start the maps and the super bosses, trying to get through those without dying, now that's a feat. I think very few people really do that just for fun. And then once you actually see your hardcore character die, just too much trouble, I think. Alright, so I don't need any more sulfates. We are actually getting pretty close to where the mine should be. Alright, so once you find your first sulfate in either the first or second level, Nico appears, and then he opens up the way to delve for you. You can either talk to him and do it that way, or just take your waypoint. One of the ones on the right hand side when you're picking an area, they can take you down there. So the delve is actually a fairly similar level design to what you're seeing here. I think it gets more intense. Well, the enemies themselves get more intense as you're going through, but I think the mine gets darker. You have to deal with if you're away from the cart that you use to go from one area to the next, the darkness can start getting you. But you can also pump points in with azurite that you get there, and then just lessen the effect of it. Alright, so this is essentially the part that branches off the most. You can go to the Dream or to the Koa's Fortress. Koa's Fortress, this is kind of like an arena, whereas Koa's Fortress is a bunch of fire caverns, and you take a lot of fire damage there. So it's good to have some good fire resist for him. For this one here, I don't know if there's anything that's really that concerning elemental-wise. What is missing? Just die. So the enemies here are starting to hit a little bit harder. I'm definitely going to have to look for some good upgrades. Haven't really come across much as far as being lucky there. But the enemies are dropping quick. We're level 40 now, and this is a level 37 zone, so this would go up to 43 to 45, I believe, that you'll be getting experience. But if you're above level 45, you're going to get very little experience from this zone. So I think the next area is the same, level-wise, so the Fortress and the Dream here are going to most likely be the same level. Oh, I don't need anything from here. I just wanted to open the chest, grab the Sacred Mana Flask, and another trap. Yeah, here along the path, the Dream and the Combs Fortress are divided into two areas. There's this one, and then another one that has looks like corridors that lead to the arenas. So just lots of enemies to fight. Wow, he died fast. Yeah, you look at those spirits and they really do not offer a lot. Okay, so I had a bunch of gems to level up, and this is a dead end. So let's go back, grab the wisdom, take a little drink of coffee. And continue on. So Act 4 is not really all that difficult. I want to get through a few acts tonight, and just the closer I get to, like, I'd like to spend a few days just doing the maps and everything when I finish, and just getting ready for the next season. But yeah, whenever a new season comes out, I like trying a whole bunch of different characters, seeing what sticks, and then, I mean, for this season, I'm basically down to just the last character and just winging it. And yeah, my stone golem is still up. That's good. Alright, so it looks like we might just keep going down. So I seem to have some pretty good evasion because, I mean, right there I was running right to where the enemies were currently standing and sort of not taking any hits. But if they ever were going to hit me, I was right in range there. Alright. So you just have to go through a few corridors, and make your way to the arena where you have to go through, I think, 2 or 3 of them, and then you come to where the boss is. And the boss here summons a bunch of swords and like spirits around himself, and it's just mainly about dodging. So the way that the early game was developed was very, very basic, but with Act 4, 5, and everything onward, it looked like the bosses got a little bit more creative as far as their abilities go. So you don't really have to sit there and kill everything here. It's pretty good experience and usually a good chance to get some good loot. And if you come across anything that's named, that's good. But we're just going to continue on. Use up my 2 points, so I wanted to do what next? Okay, so 15 life, suppress spell damage, chaos mood. So what I want to do is, I want to find stuff that has evasion and energy shield mastery. Ghost dance, cannot recover energy shield to above evasion rating. Okay, so we're going to try this one here. So that's 1, and then we are going to move... No, that's Leech Mastery. So we're going to use that, and we're going to get the Mastery for here as well. So we want to use... Okay. Let's try... Okay, so how much... So dexterity... So 5 dexterity equals 1% evasion. So I would get 20% evasion, but if I use the intellect, I'll probably get a bit more. So let's try using this one. So my evasion right now is... where's it? Chance to evade attacks 50%. Let's see how that goes. 18? Yeah, not great, but... I mean, if I'm going to be pumping more points into intellect, that might be a good one to have, and then I can always just unlearn it later. So... Alright, so some of the arenas are just packed full of enemies. And then whenever you get close to one of these here, the gates, a whole bunch of enemies come out. For mines, it's great because you can just plan where they're going to move really easily. And then you have your weird centaur-like creatures here. Just keep damaging them down. I think I'm going to get that superior engraved wand. So since we're going... a fairly intellect base, but with a little bit of dexterity, it is good to get wands, I would say. If they're definitely an improvement, which this one might be. Okay. So what does that wand add? Alright, so the helmet itself, not the greatest. The wand, 24% increased spell damage. Not much of an increase in anything else as far as damage goes. That's that cold damage to spells. That actually might be good. So let's see here. If I use 861 and then 1658 fire damage. If I put the wand on, ooh, that is 1635 or 1658. So, where would I put the two red ones, though? I would lose my stone golem. Actually, I wouldn't really lose a stone golem, so let's give it a try. And then we can also keep an eye out for a crucible, and then start pumping up the wand a little bit. Yeah, you don't have to kill everything here, but it definitely helps to keep it from too many enemies taking it on at once. So I can still use the stone golem, I just can't buff him at the current time. Alright, so is there a door here, or did I take the wrong path? I think this one might be a dead end. Some of the arenas actually don't lead anywhere. So I think this is the wrong way. Yeah, this arena is just a dead end. Yeah, there would be nothing else over here. The arenas only have one real way in. So the dash can really save you a lot of time. And just keep going. Alright, so here's the arena that has the 3 mini bosses that you face. So you have one guy with a shield and a mace. He's already down. An archer type character. He's down. And did I kill off the other guy? Oh, I think I killed off all 3 without even noticing. Alright, so the entrance to the next area is open. So I think this is the last one, which leads to the boss. So we'll see how we do against the boss with the traps, because we are just doing so much damage. And we have pretty decent evasion. Okay, so yeah, this is the boss, the Ring of Blades. And here's where we fight Desario. This is actually one of the few bosses that pretty much have a phase. So he has a few moments where he goes immune like that. And there's nothing you can really do here. Just keep dodging. And make sure that you're not standing in the swords and you're not trapped by the ice there. So we got Superior Topaz Flax and the new thing there. So since we have that, let's exit to the character screen, reload in. Alright, talk to Sun, and we'll do all the talking at the end. So we did get the waypoints, so the Grand Arena is finished. Now, if you are short on space, you can actually turn the item that you got from Desario in, but we are pretty good on space. Alright, so the gloves, they do have some nice evasion rating, a little bit more intellect, which is nice. The only problem is that we would lose a few abilities, and we sort of need the fire trap ones. So we can't really switch that out at the moment, but those gloves are pretty decent. That we can't use at all. Let's take the gem out of there. Alright, so we'll just go to Coldstream now. Coldstream. So Act 3 or no, Act 4 doesn't really feel that long once you know what you're doing. But I remember being here for a while with the first time going through the game, and it was on Ruthless, so it was much more difficult trying to get through this area. Resistances matter so much more there, and it's hard to find anything. And I remember out leveling the zone where it was just it would have taken so long just to level up, but my gear was so bad back. Well, I'm not really sure if it was that my gear was bad or it was just I was fairly new to doing any Path of Exile playing. And I remember dying to Comb quite a few times and then just logging after like an hour or so and trying to get through again. But I just remember redoing this area and the dreams several times because I just wasn't able to get past the bosses on Ruthless. Whenever you die there, they restore 40% of their health. So if your fire resistance really sucks here and you're not good at dodging all the flames that he throws out, then beating him is just going to be a monumental task. We did level up another gem, the Fire Trap one. So, yeah, now it just feels almost effortless going through this game, the campaign. And it could just be because I know what I'm doing a lot more. Or it could just be because this mode is a lot easier than Ruthless. Ruthless is alright, it's trying to get those support gems to actually make your builds kind of fun and impressive. But yeah, support gems aren't offered at the vendors at all in... Well, gems aren't offered at the vendors at all in Ruthless, but especially the only place you can get gems from a vendor are from the guy in the library, and instead of just using items that you come across, you have to get these special gems that drop at a few points in the game, or they're a random drop from the maps, and then you can get a few gems from him, but there wouldn't be any support gems at all, and it would just be really difficult to get through. Ooh, that's a much better flask. And get rid of that one. Take the boots. Age grader. You know what? I'm going to try and keep that if I can. And just throw it back in the bank. Although, once the new season drops, it's not like I'm really going to play standard anyway. But I do the initial cleanup and like try and collect as many of the uniques as I can. And then just sell whatever else in the standard mode. So once this is done, I think you're about 75% done the act. And I think we're still on the first level, essentially. So once we enter the next area, the waypoint is usually right there. So with these, I don't think there's really much of a shortcut. Both this and the next zone are usually in some kind of a U-shaped pattern. So it's not like you're just trying to find the quickest path and then you're done. You usually have to go a fair distance around, and it's pretty much linear, but there's no way to skip across it. So even though looking at the map itself, it's like some of the areas are fairly short as far as to jump across, but even if you have dash max, there's just no way you can make that jump. Thief's Garb. That has quite a bit of evasion rating. Let's get rid of the... Oh, I want the Thief's Garb. Let's see if that's any good. 408 evasion, requires too much dexterity. It does have some good fire and cold resist, which is nice. The only problem is that... you know what? I can get rid of the... what can I get rid of here? Sapphire Flask, get rid of that. Let's... Actually, I can't even equip it anyway. I don't have enough dexterity. Oh well. So, Lordly Plate, I can't equip either. Alright, so let's switch the... I do like it, though. So let's get rid of this... Oh, that's good, too. You know what? Let's just go back to town. Clear up some space. Alright, so this can probably go now. Doesn't really offer anything special. These... Higher evasion. Yeah, the only problem was I couldn't use them for my my build here. Let's see. Armor. Okay, the boots can go. That can go. 29. Accuracy rating, maximum mana, 29% lightning resist. The only problem is I don't really need lightning resist as much right now. The helmet can go, and the sacred mana flask, yeah, we can get rid of that too. So, clear off some inventory, throw a quick item or two in the stash. So this can go, and let's put the flasks and some stuff out of the way. Okay, inventory is clear. Put this in the bank for the time being. Now we can pick up that Thief's Garb and just see how much we want it. So, Thief's Garb, pick that up. Alright, and with the Lordly Plate, no, there's no way we're really that worried about strength and armor. So this should lead yet to the next area. So we are halfway through. So yep, the waypoint's right at the start there. And then this one, just like the last zone, it pretty much winds you around. So these guys here, even though like a lot of them look blue, so it's just on first glance, it's easy to mistake them for elites, but all of them are just regular guys, or most of them are regular guys. So there are some things that I do skip because I don't really need any Val gems right now. But anytime you see that that dungeon that looks like the red icon with a gem, that's a Val dungeon. You go through it quickly. It's good experience. It's usually around the same level as the zone you're in, and it's sort of like a mini version of the maps where you go through, you fight a couple enemies. They usually have some kind of a gimmick that's like they'll have a little bit of a buff, you'll have a little bit of a debuff, and you just go through and take out the named boss, clear where the gem would come out, and then you're done. And you usually get a couple gems, and then sometimes a few extra items. Okay, I don't even know what this is. So another engraved wand. So one thing that you do notice is you're leveling up, that's at the beginning, if it's color coded, it's not always the best option for your class. They don't really have spectacular stats anyway, but as you get higher in levels, then the color items are going to be a bit better. Alright, so nope, not this way. And there we go. So we made it to the Caldera of the King. So this is where we fight off Comb. And you just have to watch out for that fire and his little jets, but I mean, he's going down really quickly anyway. And he's dead. So much for Comb. Jagged Foil, no, we don't need that. Mage Vestment might be good. So with that done, let's exit out the character screen, log back in. So we have both the King of the Fury's Eye and the Desire's gem or whatever it's called. So the Eye of Fury, the Eye of Desire, and then a whole bunch of gems. Alright, so the mage one, no, not great. The wands, no, definitely doesn't look like an upgrade. Lightning, that would actually be good if we used any cold or lightning spells, but we don't. The Thief's Garb is pretty good. The boots, no, I don't think. Oh, it actually has. No, we don't want that. Or do we? We can put Clarity on the boots, and then put Arcane Surge and Dash, and then replace the boots. And we're not losing anything. Okay, the rings themselves. No, I don't think most of these rings are all that useful for me. Chaos Resist, Maximum Life, Elemental Resistance, Elemental or Chaos Resistance. These rings aren't bad. Oh, I do like this one. Chaos Resistance, Maximum Mana, Increased Mana Regeneration. What would I put this in place of? So I think I would put that in place of the Paula ring. Okay. Yep. Okay, so that's a little bit of an upgrade there. And that's everything. Okay, now we continue on. So we talk to Dahlia. She does her little rant. You can skip it, just hit and continue. And then rants a little bit more. A lot of talking. She's quite a talker. And then she charges up her cannon here and just blasts into the belly of the beast. So just skip through all that. Okay, so this is the final area, really. What you do is you go through the belly of the beast. I think it's 2 levels. And then you fight Piety. Then you go through another little area. You fight Malachi's 3 henchmen. And then from there you just... what is it you do next? Then you face Malachi himself. So what we wanted was... Alright, so we're looking for another evasion and energy shield. This is pretty good. Let's see here. So if we head this way, I would say probably the quickest way is just down here. Are these really all that useful? Movement speed, dexterity, increased physical damage. You know, I think maybe I do want these abilities too. 15 life per enemy killed. Yeah, the only problem is that... Yeah, that's a decent enough one. Okay, so we're going to take this path down and get the energy stuff here. Yeah, I'm still doing a ridiculous amount of damage for my level. The The shadow is a little bit sarcastic. He has some good little quips here and there. Alright. So, Belly of the Beast. Let's see how quickly we can get through here now. Ooh, I didn't realize I was actually taking damage. So let's try and get the wand that we have equipped is the Engraved Wand, Grim Branch. So yeah, it's this one here. Let's try and get it up to level 1. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we got through there. Oh, I was going to say I don't have my golem anymore, but I didn't have it in the beginning anyway. So there's another level up. Alright, so let's see what the weapon offers. So physical damage, and then I can either get regenerate mana per second or increase attack speed. I think I'll go with the mana, and then reduce totem life. So we don't need totems. So soccer gems are supported by level 25 arrogance. So I think we'll go up and then down. Although I'm not really thinking. It doesn't really seem like they're the greatest abilities for a mine build. I don't know if the abilities you get from the Crucible are random or if it's a little bit more set for each item that you get. Lunar circuits. Let's get that one, and oh, that's actually pretty good too.
I need more points.
Let's just make a few little changes here. So let's move this gem down here. It's over here. Over. Now we can pick up the Holy Chainmail. Okay. So yeah, you don't really need a ton of uniques to get through the game. In fact, looking at the uniques, there's actually I don't know if there's any builds that require you fully equip a bunch of uniques. It usually calls for 1, maybe 2. And then the rest are all yellow items because you need to get your resistances in. And the unique items are unique for a reason. They're not meant to be all you wear like in Diablo 3. Although I am curious if Path of Exile 2 is going to have any sets, or if it's just going to be the same game, the same kind of gear you get here, just a lot more streamlined and with new abilities and stuff. Boy, that game's going to be a lot of fun. So, increased evasion. Ghost Shroud. Yeah, I forget. I don't know what Ghost Shroud really does, but I have the ability for it. So you have Ghost Shroud, so it doesn't really say what it does. So I guess it's really good for an evasion or something. So we have 3 active. My estimated chance to dodge is 19%. 452 evasion rating. So I don't think my gear has a ton of evasion on it. No energy shields. Nope. Evasion rating 148, 31. So yeah, I do need a bit more evasion. I don't really seem to have a lot. I know I was doing this one build with just a ton of evasion, but I still seem to get hit a fair bit. It was, I think, a ranger build. I was going very evasion, and I was up to 80-something% chance to evade attacks. You want to get as close to 100% as you can. That way you're just unhittable. Although there's some attacks that I don't think you can really avoid. So even if you were to get like 99%, there's still going to be bosses that you just don't stand in their attacks. Otherwise, it's going to hit you no matter how high that is.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Alright, so I think my inventory is full again. But we are nearing the end of this act. So what I might do is just at some point quickly go to town, drop off a bunch of this stuff in the bank, and then just check it after I finish the act. Because I don't think we're going to have too much trouble with Malachi. Fawn's Horn.
I need more points.
Yeah, might as well just go to town now, toss some stuff in the bank, and then get back to it. I can always sort it out later. So 3, so here we go. Put that in, that in, that in, that in. That's, oh no, wait, not the boots. Let's see here. Okay, so it was this one, intellect, armor, a lot of armor. Definitely lose the intellect. Green and a blue. I can actually move that over, and then so if I lose dexterity, I lose a little bit of life, but I gain some intellect, some armor, energy shield, so that might be better. So we also have a red, a green, or no, 2 red and a blue, so we can put in where did I put the golem? So the golem was red. Okay. We got red. Perforates. And none of these abilities I think are great for the golem. Was it main support or perforate? No, it was main support. And spell cascade, nope. Okay, so that's good enough for that. And then don't need ambush. 5 seconds, cooldown. 5 seconds. What is the dodge cooldown? Yeah. Oh wait, I can't use this because dash is now too high to do. Okay, so let's try ambush then. Okay, so ambush right there. I'm blinding the enemy for a secondary duration. Huh, okay, that's interesting. Anyway, a few little changes. Sell some items, sell the sapphire, sell all these rings. The ring thing there. The crown. Yeah, we can get rid of the crown. Get rid of this now, and get rid of the wands. 23, and then... Yeah, I don't think that wand's an upgrade. So, yep, the wand can go. Move dash over here. No, can't move it yet. Alright, so now we can put our points in. Suppress spell damage. Increase maximum energy shield. So, 288 energy shield, 812 life, 846, 306. So our character's getting a little bit beefier now. Skitterbots, Combustion, Stone Golem, Main. Alright. Act 4 is just about done. Let's make sure our buffs are all on. There we go. Oh yeah, so now we can't use now we can't use our dash anymore, but we do have ambush, so that ports us right to an enemy, and it temporarily blinds them as well. So that might be a good ability to use. Yeah, ambush is pretty good too. I like the blind effect that it adds. So the more chance they have to miss, the better. So it doesn't look like... I think the circle's around. Yep, so we want to go to that middle area. Sacred Mana Flask. Nope, we don't need that one. So we are definitely nearing the end. Or maybe not. Okay, so it's down a bit. Piety is keeping us working for this. And there is a crucible there. I might go get the crucible and try and level up the wand that I have, because it's a pretty good amount of spell damage. I do miss Dash already. I think Dash was actually the superior one. The only problem is that I just need to get more dexterity. So let's get up to... Let's go with that. So I probably could have gone all the way up to 100%, but the ambush makes me a little bit nervous about really overstepping how much I put into the crucibles, just because it doesn't feel as much like a dodge as the dash did. Alright, so the Bowels of the Beast is where we fight against Piety. And let's see how quickly we can take her out. So you always want to avoid that one, because that does, it essentially one-shots you. Alright, so I took Piety out. So she does a little bit of a rant here, and then from here you go and you start on working to take out Malachi. All right. So now we're in the Harvest, and this is where you fight against his 3 mini bosses, and then once you take them out, then you can fight against Malachi. So there's, I believe, 1 at the top and then 2 at the bottom. So we're going to take the 2 at the bottom first, and then go to the top, and then go to the waypoints, and then we're done. So once we find the waypoints, then, yep, there we go. And we can talk to Piety here. She's not sorry.
A single thing that I've done. I set out to raise humanity up from the...
Okay. Well, it's good to know that she's not sorry about anything she's done. Yeah, so there's a little bit of lore for each of the characters here. So Malachi is like the big boss. The friend that I used to play with said that this area gives some very Resident Evil vibes, and the boss especially, just because of the tentacle attack. Right, so here is Sharoni. So you just have to watch out for her lightning attacks, because they can hurt. But she's down. So we got the entrails. And then you don't have to, once you finish fighting the boss, it's like a little mini arena set up, so you can't run away. But once the boss is down, then that opens up. So we have 1 down. The second one is just over here. Dodri. So Dodri seems to be very focused on like totems. It's not really that noticeable here, Although you can see the little auras if you look on the ground, the red, the blue, or the red, the purple, the green. I'm not exactly sure what they do.
Oh, do stop.
I never really sat there and looked at the debuffs that it casts. But I know that you move a lot slower. I think one is like an elemental debuff, and another one's a physical debuff. So you got movement speed debuff, elemental debuff, and then probably physical debuff. And now we just have to get the last one. And you can always circle around after you finish killing her off if you want a bit more experience, but we're not getting very much here. Yeah, this level is 40 and we are 44, so we're essentially capped. So we got Maligro. So yeah, most of the bosses here, as long as you just keep moving around, you're going to have very little difficulty facing them. And I definitely have quite a bit of energy shield now, so Malachi shouldn't be too much of an issue. I'm going to put the skill point in. Let's see here. Energy shield on hits. So yeah, the chaos damage we don't really need, but the increased physical damage might be good. Although this doesn't do any physical damage, unfortunately. Oh well. So we are getting one pretty useless ability, but we are also getting dexterity and some other useful abilities to make up for it. Oh, this is the wrong way. We don't need to circle around. So, find our way to the waypoints. You don't have to talk to Piety, but
The moment I set eyes on you in Exile that day, I knew you were something special. Never before had I seen
so you can get a little bit of lore. All the characters here offer all that. But, I mean, if you really want to hear all the lore, you can either go to the wiki or you can play through yourself. But I'm kind of getting through the game because I want to get to the maps, and then once Forbidden Sanctum comes out, it's going to be just starting all this all over again. Yep, so that's the attack that reminds my friend of Resident Evil. So when you hear that, then you just have to attack Piety, because Malachi becomes invincible.
now, Exile.
So you have to, there's like a few phases to go through. But she has much less health here than she had before. So he essentially kills her, and then once you walk over, the black heart's here, but Piety is done now.
This is what I get for trying to be a bloody hero.
Alright.
Just before you murdered me in the Lunara shadow, I thought you were about to steal my destiny from me. As it turns out,
Okay, so there's her last words.
Let us see if you truly understand what it means to be nightmare.
So yeah, I just have to keep at his back. He teleports an awful lot though, and then when he activates the Heart of the Beast, he starts a regeneration aura that gives him a lot of health back. Although I'm not sure what gives him his health back really, because there's times that he's gotten none back, and other times that he's gotten almost back up to full. Boy, it's a good thing we do so much damage. I think it has something to do with that red aura. But there we go. Malachi is down. So let's see what he gave us. Superior Fawn's Horn sounds good. Really dramatic death.
You missed the point, Malachi. Death is the only thing that gives life any meaning.
Increase physical damage. Nope, that one's not really useful at all. Attack speed, cast speed, reduces maximum mana, so this isn't really good. Although I do like that power frenzy or endurance charge on kill. The only problem is that the negatives of it, and yeah, these gloves just aren't great for us. So now we take the portal back to Highgate. And here we can just turn in all the quests because we've basically finished everything. So quest complete, blah blah blah. So
You have slain the knight. Deshret has a
alright, so you don't offer anything.
I thought you were going.
You don't offer anything. Yeah, one thing that it's going to be good in Path of Exile too is that you can start using the dodge in town to move just a little bit faster. Alright, so we got everything from him. What else can we get here? So talk to the Yalia.
A shadow returns from it.
Alright, so anything good here? Spell Echo support. It says it's good for Stone Golem. I don't really know though. Multi-strike support. That might be good for the Stone Golem. Let's see. Chain support is not good for anything. Increased area of effect support. Biotoxins. We don't really use poisons at all. Unleash. Nope. Minefields. That would be good for the mine build, but yeah, the cluster traps isn't good because it does so much less damage. So the gems here, I'm not really thinking are all that great. Barrage supports. So the only one that I think was pretty good was the multi-strike. Okay.
No love, the gate is open.
And then we get another gem from here. Chaos Golem, Ice, Fire, Lightning. Lightning might be good. Kind of to replace the Stone Golem. So I might go with the Lightning one. Tornado, Ambush. Okay, I'm gonna go with the Lightning, and then switch out the Stone Golem for what was that other ability? The multi-strike support. Does that work with the Lightning? Oh no, it doesn't even work with the Lightning one. Shoot. Okay. Does Main work with Lightning? No, Main doesn't work with Lightning either. So we have 2 open red gems. Okay, let's Yeah, no, I think we can only have one golem up at a time. Yep, so yeah, we're just going to use the Stone Golem for now and level up the Lightning Golem. So we've done everything we need to here. Okay, so now we are just going to go through the path to Act 5 and then call it from there. So up the path we go. Summon the Stone Golem.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Yeah, one thing I'm liking about the traps is that the enemy that I just killed, the one that had the orb around them, a lot of times if you have a range attack, it won't really pierce the orb, but because you're throwing the mines in there, they explode on the enemy and just finish them off really quickly. Okay, Gladiator Helm, Strapped Boots, they might be good, Solid Boots, some
I
other.
need more pockets.
Okay, we just need to move some stuff around. Close that out, close that. So let's get the sun leather. Alright, so definitely kind of short on dexterity. I could use some more of that soon. But with the other ability that I get, actually I think I should be able to get it now. The one that increases dexterity by 20. Yeah, so some enemies, when you see the purple crystals forming underneath you, they explode after a certain amount of time. And the more you attack the enemy that has that buff, the more those crystals appear. Okay, where's my dash? Dash is here. Yeah, I can use dash now. So switch back from ambush. Good. I like dash more. Yeah, I can go up cliffs now. There we go. So even enemies that are fire or chill resistant don't stand a chance against my traps. So yeah, you always want to look for the bridges because they lead to the next area. I think there's a bridge for to go from the first area, and it's usually in the upper left corner. And then at the very top, there's also just a narrow path that you go through, and then that leads you to the machine that you're looking for. And then the next area, I don't really know the layout of it very well. Mage vestments. No, don't want that. Or do I? I like how it... Okay, so I think it's going to sell pretty well. Right. I don't really know what the point, I don't really know too much about the items filters, but for some reason some of the icons or the drops light up a little bit, so I'm not exactly sure why. So if we just keep heading north and to the west, then we are going to find what we're looking for. Jeez, these guys drop fast. Okay, what does the pagan one do? Increase cast speed. What was this one? This one wasn't all that great. Let's see what the pagan one does. Okay, increase fire damage. Ooh, that's good. Does more damage, faster cast speed, 45% increased physical damage, although that's not really useful for us. Although if I were to switch back to the explosive trap, it would probably be really useful. And there's nothing in the blue one, so 1386 average damage and 2593. If I switch this out, 1200. Okay, so I think that's actually a bit better. Okay, Frosted Horn. Is this one any good? No, I don't think I need that one. And let's see. Orb of Chance. What can we toss out the window? Perforate. Superior Perforate. Yeah, who cares? I don't really need that at all. I don't think I've ever made a character that uses Perforate. Alright, so here's the lever. So this opens up this cool little portal which takes us to Orath. And then it's kind of like this Terminator effect where you see that happen and then like a sphere blows apart the floor and the wall here. Oh, I never noticed that this guy up here is actually trying to say something to us. So we get the waypoints, and now we are just going to go run through this as quickly as possible, try and get to the next town, and then call it for this video. That'll be Act 4 completely done. So yeah, now we're fighting like kind of a Roman theme here. So you have a bunch of these Centurion guys, cool little shields, some monsters. The architecture feels like something you'd see in a Gladiator type movie. So Act 5 is really not all that long. There's a few extra quests, but I mean, if you really wanted to just speedrun it, you could probably skip most of the stuff in Act 5. Alright, so we already got the waypoints. We don't need that anymore. I think I'm actually supposed to be heading south for here. Yeah, so to the right and then south. Let's actually use that crucible and get the first ability. Let's see what this wand has to offer. So once it lights up, we're good to go. There we go. They do quite a bit of damage now. Alright, so we killed all them off. So what is the ability I get? More fire damage, and then I can get more cast speed, attack speed, Herald of Thunder. Herald of Thunder has 25% increased reservation. I wonder if that means that that's probably worse for you, actually. I'm looking forward to Spirit coming out for Path of Exile too. No more just sucking up all of our mana for these auras and abilities. You'll probably have less mana to work with for that, but I mean, I really hate seeing that the reservation eats up most of that orb. And another level up. Alright, so we are just weaving through here. Boy, these traps are awesome. Oh, I didn't even realize that my golem died. And orb of fusing, I definitely want that. Ambush, we're gonna get rid of. Yeah, ambush. The gems, I don't know if there's a point in keeping any that you level up, because if you're going to start a new build, I don't know, getting it to level 20 doesn't really take all that long, it feels like. So, the point of leveling up gems, just outside of having it just for your the character that you're playing, you don't really want to throw them in the bank, because then if you make a new character, you can't even use it. And I mean, you could eventually, but then you have to wait until you meet the level and the stat requirements. So I can't see the point of keeping the gems in the stash outside of the level 1 ones. But thankfully, it's easy to sort and just get rid of any gems that are leveled up. Alright, it's where to go next. Okay, it doesn't look like there's a door here. So I guess we have to go around. I like how even after all this time, the chat is just still always flowing in this game, even though you don't really read it often. Okay. So once you come across the one character, Overseer Crow, you kill him off and then the ladder drops. Crusader helmets, deerskin boots. You know, I can actually come back and get those quickly. So they drop the ladder, go to the tower, and then this is the hub for Act 5. So this is where your quests get turned in, and all that fun stuff gets done. So let's put this all in. And I'll sort this all out later. I definitely have to clean up this inventory quite a bit. I'm using all these spaces and I don't even know if any of it's worth keeping. Alright, so now we've done that. Where's the ladder down? Huh. Okay, I guess you don't go down. Oh well. I guess those items are lost then. Alright, so that is the end of Act 4. Let's see, level up the stone golem, lightning golem, name, dash. Alright, so I have a little bit of playing around with the gear that I want to do, which I'll do off air, but that's everything. And then next video, I'm just going to rush through Act 5, and then at the end of that, that's essentially the end of the normal campaign, really. Then you get a little bit of that debuff for your resistances, 30% once you finish off this act. And then the game kind of, you go through the areas that you've passed through again, although they're a little bit different with tougher enemies, new enemies, and just a much different path. So Act 5 next, and then Act 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then I'll probably work on just grinding out some levels and some maps for this character, and then just waiting for Path of Exile, the Trial of the Ancestors. So, thanks for watching. Till next time, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a good night. Bye.